really interesting for me to be together in the room with lots of active, progressive and creative young people, because I think that we need to motivate young people to stay in Mostar, to stay in Bosnia and Herzegovina, to work on different things to improve our society and uphold, build our future. So I think this platform was a really good thing, a really good tool how we can start doing this work. Well, it is really difficult to establish any kind of either formal or informal group of young people that will work on something. So just because of that, I think that the platform is a success, because it managed together progressive and creative and responsible young people to do something and to work together on different issues. So I think that the members of the platform are the future leaders of this society, and I think that it's really important to have some networking moments, and platform was such moments. I think it's really significant that something like that happened. Before that, all youth activism and youth work was a little bit fragmented and not very well organized, and I think that this platform actually served as a good structure, and it put a lot of different things and activities and efforts in certain structures. So because of that, I think it is now easier to discuss and to deal with different issues regarding youth policies and youth problems. So I think it is really necessary to have a platform like this. Really important first to see the number of young people engaged, and then to look at certain problems and issues addressed, and to see which efforts actually succeeded. If we did something regarding the elections, or something regarding youth scholarship, or university problems with university students. So I think that we had a certain success, but there is still a lot of room for improvement. I think that the platform should be more and more popularized, and it should be promoted as a tool, as a platform from which young people can develop their solutions to certain social problems and environmental problems and economic problems and educational problems, and young people should recognize the benefit of participating in such platforms. So I think it is really important to promote and advocate the importance of such a platform and the possibilities that it offers to young people, because they can practice through that platform their work. They can see if they're suitable for different roles. They can see if they're creative enough to solve different problems and to answer different questions. So I think that the platform should develop more in terms of promoting its importance to young people, and developing different tools to evaluate different strategies for success. First, most important thing would be elect Mostar, because as you probably know, Mostar is the only city that didn't have local elections for almost 10 years, and no one actually cared about that, neither political parties, civil society, young people, and it was really important to see that young people remembered that day, that young people figure out that kind of activity to promote this issue. So that was something significant that had really good media coverage, and it was really important to hear the voice of young people. Other important thing was that this platform actually tried to tackle with the issue of a scholarship on the cantonal level for students, because as we all know, lots of young people are leaving Bosnia and Herzegovina, and one of the reasons is not actually the lack of jobs or the economic situation, it is rather the corruption and nepotism, especially in the educational sector. So it is really important to show that these problems can be tackled. Mostar is a really important city in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but unfortunately civil and youth sector is not so strong. And in that context, the cooperation with the LDA, with Youth Cultural Center of Rašić, is really important, because this is actually the only cultural center, youth cultural center in Mostar, and the spaces and the whole building of the center is really important, and we cooperated a lot on different activities. You taking over there with different projections, different round tables, so it is really important to join the efforts, to join the resources in order to strengthen the youth even more. We speak about a lack of elections in Mostar. It is really important to mention that no one cared about the fact that Mostar is the only city in the Europe that has like a huge problem with democratic deficit. So our mayor is in technical mandate, he decides about everything, and no opposition parties, international institutions, they didn't care much about that issue, and that is really big problem for Mostar. So that is the reason why this actually elect Mostar is even more important, because young people managed to raise their voices, and they managed to attract and get a lot of media coverage. So a lot of different foreign medias, online medias, radios, TVs, they actually covered this story. So our voice was heard all over the world. So that is really important action, and it is important to mention we did that with almost zero funds. So it was all voluntary work, it was all creative work, it was all work of young people who really wanted to do something about the fact that we are without local elections, that our human rights are being violated. So that was one action, and I think that we have more opportunity to develop the capacity of young people to answer to those kind of social problems. So I think in the future this action elect Mostar will serve as an initial spark for further activism of young people when it comes to building the democratic capacity of our society.
I believe it had a great impact. It had an impact on those of us coming from outside to try and help, but I genuinely believe that it has and will continue to have an impact on the political parties and the citizens here in Mostar. Again, we are hearing today there are elections due in October, and I think it's right and proper that young people and organisations like Elect Mostar again highlight the failure of political parties and the state to deliver elections for them. We're very impressed by the efforts of young people to, for example, organise the Elect Mostar at the time of the last elections. And we hope to be able to continue to encourage them in both direct action like that, and also to build their capacity and to build their abilities to put pressure on politicians to reach a solution. I think it's a very positive thing. I think it's probably incredibly frustrating to be a young person living here, but my words to them are simply continue to do what you do, and if there's anything that I or we in the Congress can do to help, we will be doing that. We're here to help move things forward. I think they should continue to embarrass their politicians, to ask the difficult questions, and to be out there protesting.
My first encounter with the platform was through my organization, Center for Psychological Support Census, through the local initiatives Call for Proposals. So this is where I heard about the platform, about its activities, goals, and vision. I consider that the platform is very helpful when it comes to youth participation. There are not enough initiatives or activities that regard youth participation in our local community. So this is one of the ways to include local organizations and local youth for participation in any kind. Since the group is considered of young people that are either in civil society organization or grassroots activists, I honestly believe that this group can make a big difference in identifying the problems of the youth in our local community. My organization actually implemented a project that regarded mental health in high school students. So what we did, we worked with high school students that we educated for peer-to-peer education, but not only that, they also took part in creating a strategy for high schools in terms of creating a psychological support system that does not exist on a cantonal or federal level or country level. So this is the first way or the first step to include the youth in participating in making any plans, actions, strategies that regard them and their own well-being. Yes, such initiatives are very helpful, and a way to upgrade it would be kind of to make it consistent and to have it on annual level and to have it maybe even coming from the local government and authorities.
We are so proud that we have an organization in Mostar and people who work in LDA, and we are so good. We have so good cooperation, but what we can to give, we give. Like some support, some materials, some place, or we also included on a small grant for youth and in the project, on this project, and we think that will be why they live in next years. I think the project is good, and because our young people are, I don't know, it's they don't like to read, and they like to go in a cafe, and we must to cover from all of them of media. We must to have more better communication with the local media station, radio station, or internet platform, and that our young people can see the project and activities on project. It's great. I'm really fascinated about people and their job. It's really good. Some specific things of this project, I think for me, is the local youth advisory group. Their group, they included the leaders of young people in our city, and they helped the city, and they helped the young people from city and their health project, and they do the good things, I think.
Yeah, I was part of the group. I must tell that it is a nice experience because in the group was very quality young people from Mostar who are active in a local society many years ago, and we discussed about some problems that affect us, especially young people in Mostar, And I hope that this kind of dialogue and meetings with that young people is important, and I hope that in future we will realize some activities and ideas that can solve some our problems here. And my advice for the future is that we have continuity to meet group and to maybe realize some projects together, and also to make a better communication with the local government so that they can accept our ideas and think more about problems that affect young people in Mostar. My idea, Street Artura, that was the second edition of Street Arts Festival Mostar in 2017, was supported by Local Democracy Agency, and for me that was a nice experience and motivation that I can work on my idea of festival during the whole year, and that was that September. So we host many artists and spend time with them, and also realize new art intervention in a public space, and product of everything is 15 new mural on the streets. For me that program gave me big support to work, to contribute to the local society, to expand the idea of Street Arts Festival that now have 7 years behind. So that festival give a new dynamic on the street, bring new visual identity, bring new collaboration, and make a big platform of street art in Mostar, and that is important. So Mostar is starting to be famous because of the street art also, and people are interested in what we are doing here. So for me, any kind of support of organization, of local community, of city is important, because this start as from the youth activism. This start from youth activism, and we want to give power to our city to be more productive, and also to motivate young people to be more involved in a culture scene in our city. There is no similar initiatives that help young people to realize their ideas, and also budget for young people in Mostar is not big, and I think that everything that can give young people opportunity to realize ideas is important. Sometimes some small amount of money can bring some good project. I think that this initiative can be more connected with the local government, so that they can sponsor in the future more ideas of young people in Mostar.